Nobody is able to deny anymore how corrupt Donald Trump really is. Everyone's calling him out. And he's not happy about it, even if he tries to pretend like he's gonna come over it. Nobody's happy with Donald Trump right now. If you pay any attention to finances or the state of America, or even have a tacit interest in politics, and you're not a completely sellout right-wing chud, you've got to be able to notice that there is some real fishy stuff going on. Trump hiding the Epstein files, Trump enriching himself, Trump's attempts to try and mess up the election, our ability to vote and have future elections. All of these things are so blatant that even if you're not a dyed-in-the-wool lefty or liberal, you should be able to recognize it's scummy, and it's worth calling out. And that is why I love CoffeeZilla's recent coverage of Donald Trump and all the scams he's been running, because CoffeeZilla is a guy who calls out scammers. And the fact that he just can't stop calling out Donald Trump, it's not because CoffeeZilla is some super left-wing person, it's because Donald Trump is just that much of a scammer. And in this video, from what I understand, CoffeeZilla dives into Trump's crypto holdings and his trades and his selling and buying, etc. And we find out how much Trump has made through insider trading with crypto, let's be real, during his second presidency. It is mind-blowing how much he's managed to enrich himself while his supporters suffer.
To make money while everyone else loses money in a market. You either have to know something or there's something nefarious afoot. Like the best example I can think of is Michael Burry shorting the housing market in 2008, making tons of money while a lot of people lost money. In that case, he made an informed bet. But you can also think of other times, like when somebody scams a bunch of people, they make money while everyone else loses money. And my favorite example of that might be Safe Moon, where people were told, oh, you're going to go safely to the moon with this investment. In reality, all those people lost money while executives sold and made millions of dollars. And
oh my god. That's so sad, too. Because you want, like, when it comes to the people who are willing to invest in space travel stuff, it's like, okay, hold on, that's actually something I think is worth putting some money into. If you've got money and you put into that, I think that's pretty cool. It's one of the few redeeming things about Elon Musk before he went full irredeemable. But, man, that's sad. I kind of feel bad for the people who got scammed on this one. Well, I just fully do. I feel bad for them.
The question is, which one is this? This is a chart from Reuters, who calculated that investors have lost about $2.28 billion. That's on the crypto projects of the president, to be clear, while the president has made about $2.29 billion up to the current day. And I know...
Billion, bro. Billion. Wasn't Donald Trump, like... didn't he have, like, what, less than $100 million when he became president in 2016? Or I guess he enriched himself fairly, like a fair amount through that election, to be fair. But like, before, he was, like, a millionaire, but not even that impressive of a millionaire, right? And now he's raking in billions off of insider trading? So Trump's a billionaire now, no? Or at least in terms of what he owns? The speculative value of what he owns amounts to billions now? That's insane.
Oh, that's pretty shocking. And, even I kind of am a little skeptical when I see calculations, where are these numbers from? Who's providing these numbers? So that's why I was really happy to see that the new financial disclosure for the president has recently come out. It's 927 pages, and I decided, great, we can get to the bottom of what the real story is, at least for 2025. We don't have to guess. We don't have to go off anyone else's numbers. We can just look at the raw data, right? And so I went ahead and I pulled up, the 927-page report of the president's assets. And, I started taking a look to see how much money was made in the crypto markets. And the answer that I came to, along with basically everyone else, like the Wall Street Journal, is it's about $1.4 billion. And in total, about $2.2 billion for the year of 2025 in total revenue, which is about a 3.5x increase from the prior year before entering the White House. Previously, they made about $622 million, and now they made $2.2 billion total. Now
That's pretty immense. That's a pretty big difference. There is definitely insider trading going on here. You don't 3.5x your revenue without doing something weird. You got to do something real messed up to 3.5x your revenue in 1 year. When we're talking about trade, by the way, we're talking about crypto trading, largely.
You'll notice that most of that money is from crypto. About 63%,
Yeah.
actually.
Ooh.
And that's odd.
Now, I'm curious. I'm sure he's going to get into it. What I'm aware of is that Donald Trump created this initiative, I guess you could call it, within the Federal Reserve, where they now hold all of the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies on hard drives and in wallets that federal investigations have turned up or have ended up in like evidence rooms, more or less. So instead of it being like these 5 Bitcoin from 2004 that we got off of some kitty diddler's hard drive, this is going into an evidence room. That's how it would go previously, and it would gather dust, whatever. Maybe this is a W for Donald Trump, but I feel like he can't do anything good without there being a self-serving motive behind it. But he made it so that now the Federal Reserve actually holds on to that crypto that the US government owns because of confiscation from investigations and stuff like that. And now it's held by the Federal Reserve, and buying and selling more is managed by a certain part of the Federal Reserve now, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder if Trump is using that to skim a little off the top. I feel like it's something to do with that. Because it's because of Donald Trump now that the United States itself is quite heavily invested in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
Because, as I said, crypto is down. It's a market that has lost a ton of value. You can see since 2025, it's gone from about 3.5 trillion or so to about $2 trillion, which is a giant loss. I mean, like most people who invested in crypto over that time period have lost money. So how is it that the president has not, in fact, has made most of his revenue for the year from crypto when
insider trading? It's always that.
Everyone else is down. And this is where I want to introduce you to this market right here. This is the Trump coin. It's the official meme coin of the president, where we actually
Wait, is it not even going to be insider trading with this? Is it going to be his rug pull? I didn't think we were going to be touching on Trump's rug pull. Yeah, for those who don't know, Trump straight up did a rug pull crypto. He's done multiple, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Changed the SEC rules to, make some of this okay, by the way, some of the guidelines. And, you can see that it peaked basically right around the inauguration and has been down only ever since, essentially. Now the coin is worth $1.71. So, you would think that if the president holds a bunch of these coins, he would have also lost money, at least on paper. Well, actually, you can check the financial disclosures and to see exactly how much money.
Please tell me it's a standard rug pull, man. He was holding, like, most of the coin the day that it went up on market and sold. Like, that big drop-off was him selling. Him and his family selling.
He has made in the form of royalties. You can see it's $635 million.
Wait, it's not even a rug pull. He's just making money off of, like, every purchase and sale, I bet, too, of the coin goes to, a little bit of it goes to Trump. So he's collected $635 million in royalties off of his Trump shitcoin. I see why so many people start shitcoins when they want to, like, scam and leave the internet. Holy hell.
How does that make sense? He's making money while his fans, the people who are buying this, are down massively. This is the strange thing about this financial disclosure. You really get the sense that the president has found a way to make a ton of money from a market that is down while he is up. It's like entirely bizarre. And, he was actually asked about this. Like, there's all these reports about you've profited from the presidency, etc.
Maybe Trump is so, like, senile now that his wealth increasing has genuinely convinced him that everyone else must be going through the same thing in a rising tide raises all ships kind of thing. Not realizing, wait, as everybody is suffering equivalently for as much as I have gained from this presidency. I wonder if that's even something he's aware of, or if he just lacks any self-awareness.
And the defense has always been like, well, I'm aligned with you. I'm making money, but you're also making money because the markets are going up.
Critics say you're profiting off the presidency.
Well, you know why I'm profiting? Because the stock market's going up. Everybody's
Okay.
profiting. If you have
Okay, no, he actually believes that. He actually believes that everybody, if he's profiting, everybody is profiting. Or maybe, well, he's saying it at least. That's his claim.
you have a 401k?
He's pretending to believe it.
How's your 401k done?
This is the cope we always see. Sure, the president's making a ton of money, but everybody's making a ton of money. So his interests are ultimately aligned with ours, and it makes sense. He's got some stocks, you've got some stocks, we're all going up together. But this is a totally different situation because, again, crypto is down. You can ask any of your...
Yeah, Trump's not making money off of buying and selling volume. He's literally, what he's doing is he's making money regardless of where the coin goes. Any movement within this coin, and he's collecting royalties. That's how he's farming so much off of a dying coin and a dying market.
Your friends who own crypto, especially the ones who own Trump coin, they are not doing well right now. Okay, they are not having a good time. Our highest government official in the land is making billions of dollars in income. It's a very odd thing. It's like what you expect almost from Coinbase or like Kraken, people who make money from just the fees, because ultimately what they care about is trading volume. So they can still make money even in a down market, but pretty much everyone else is going to get screwed. Funny enough, someone actually looked at the financials of Coinbase and they found out that Trump out-earned the biggest listed crypto US firms in 2025, showing that he made about $1.4 billion and Coinbase made $1.26 billion. Now,
how do you out-earn the platforms that facilitate the trade? How do you out-earn the platforms that facilitate the trade? They take a cut too. That means Donald Trump is taking a much larger cut in royalties for every buy and sale of these coins. That is insane.
remember, this is a company that's sole job is to sell crypto, have you trade crypto.
Yeah. They collect royalties too off of every movement, but Trump must be collecting way higher of a percentage.
They have thousands of employees and they made less, which I think is just the craziest statistic out of this whole thing. Even though, it's probably not apples to apples, right? There's a difference between, the earnings of a company versus a president's financial disclosure statement. I'll just say that right up front. But it is wild to think about. You've got a company whose sole job it is to sell crypto, do all this kind of stuff, getting out-grifted by a guy who launches a meme coin right before running for president. I have to ask, is this the new normal? Can we just expect that every president will have a down-only crypto coin that they...
No, every Republican will. This is a Republican thing, Coffeezilla. This is a Trump thing. Trump is as bad as every one of the crazy lefties have always said. Because it turns out the lefties weren't crazy. Trump's a fascist, and fascists have no morals, they have no standards, and they are willing to debase themselves on a moral level in front of you and leave you bewildered as to how they could do this. And I promise you, you will feel much less confused about this situation once you realize, no Democrat is going to do this. This is a Republican thing.
Made hundreds of millions of dollars from. Is that our new normal here in America? I certainly hope not, but you just can't get around the hard facts that are in this.
And before someone tries to bring up Nancy Pelosi and claim she insider trades, when she is far from making the most money out of anyone we've elected to government when it comes to stock trading. She's not even that good at trading stocks. You know who makes more proportionally through stocks than Pelosi ever did? Marjorie Taylor Greene. There is way more evidence of Marjorie Taylor Greene insider trading than Pelosi. But you never hear anyone talk about it. Just saying.
Disclosure. Here's one of the other major ways, by the way, he made money, which is the selling of World Liberty Financial tokens and various equity in that deal. They made hundreds of millions of dollars from that as well. And of course, don't forget the reporting that a big stake in World Liberty Financial was sold right before taking office. And it really feels like that's mostly the pattern here, is despite being, the crypto president, the guy who's going to take Bitcoin to the moon, and safely guard your retirement plan. In actuality, when you see what the Trump organization actually does with most of these coins, they try to sell off pieces of their equity stake, somehow cash out for some real value instead of holding on like the true believers. That isn't to say they don't still hold some of.
And keep in mind, if you're trying to promote a cryptocurrency as something that's going to be used and held and be a real thing, it's generally considered good practice that you hold a substantial amount of the coin yourself and be willing to take the loss on it by not selling. That's the whole point. Like, there's no point in buying into a coin when the person who runs the coin has sold their holding and isn't even willing to hold the coin themselves. At that point, it's worthless. Why would you even want it? The only people buying the coin at this point, I mean, honestly, might just be so controlled in their mind by Donald Trump. They're so brain broken, they'd happily just give Trump the money anyway.
Their stakes, but a lot of the profit here was because they sold out. And again, a lot of these things are down bad, like really. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about this weird phenomenon that really you usually see in scams, although I'm not making any such
I get it, Copyzilla, but like, at this point, I feel like you've covered enough of Trump's, like, antics, and I know you're doing a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing, because you don't want to, like, piss off too many of the dumbest people out there, and you're trying to, like, let people figure it out for themselves to a degree, but, bro, eventually you just gotta call it what it is. This is Trump and the Republicans having state-sanctioned scamming operations on Trump supporters, which could only be done so blatantly, brazenly, and repeatedly because Trump supporters, unlike any other political movement in America today, are a cult.
Accusation where somebody can be way up while investors are way down. And, sometimes that's because somebody knows something. Sometimes it's because people are being, extracted from, people are being grifted on. I'm not going to make a determination of which one it is, ultimately, because there's really nothing we can do about it. Actually, recently there was an interview with some reporters who have been covering, the new changes in laws. And what they talk about is basically there's no ways to punish this stuff anyways. This is Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan from the New York Times.
Is there something illegal going on in your view?
It's an interesting question, but...
And this is the frustrating thing. Elon Musk has been a known insider trader with crypto for a while. He's done it for ages at this point. Notoriously, he did it with Doge, or Dogecoin. I feel like I have to clarify now. Dogecoin, not the other Doge, or the other Doge. But the whole idea of insider trading comes from stocks. And if you're insider trading stocks and you get caught, it's very illegal. Super illegal. Crypto, on the other hand, does not have the same thing. So if you know that there's about to be a massive movement with crypto in the coming days, you can basically just insider trade with no consequence because the laws don't apply to crypto, even though functionally in this context, when you're buying and selling it and you're watching the graphs and you're hoping that your investment is going to accrue gains, you're basically trading stocks. It's the same mechanism, and manipulating the market should be illegal for the same reasons that it is in stocks, because you're doing the same thing. You are using power or influence, like in the case of Elon Musk, to tell people, buy Doge, buy Doge, buy Doge, after you've put a bunch of money in, planning to sell after people buy into it. Like, you're scamming people, you're tricking people. Like, when you sell your crypto, you're pocketing other people's money that they coughed up to buy their crypto. That's how it works. And when you sell your crypto, you make their crypto, their holding that they paid for, worth less.
Because Trump himself was granted sweeping immunity, as all presidents were, with the Supreme Court's immunity ruling in 2024. So Trump is essentially beyond the reach of the law in terms of actions. I mean, there's a sense among Trump and his allies and his inner circle that with a very friendly Justice Department run by Trump's own former personal lawyer, with sweeping immunity from the Supreme Court, with an intention to use the pardon power more expansively potentially than any president has ever used it. I don't think that they feel any real concern about illegality.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried either. I'm not holding my breath for, any of this, even on the periphery, to be punished. Honestly, I think what is just the most interesting about this new era is how blatant it all is, how it's all just out in the open in disclosures. Previously you might imagine people would hide something like this, right?
Well, Trump is the law now, so why should he have to hide it? He can, in fact, doing it openly and in the eyes of all authority and the Democrats and the left and the people, and even having people defend it openly, that is part of the demoralizing effort they are trying to make against their enemies. To be able to demonstrate, it's similar to how Trump bragged that he could murder a guy in Times Square on television and he wouldn't lose a single voter. They take a great amount of joy in the fact that their cult is so supportive that the world can watch as they do horrible things and their supporters defend it. Their supporters will gaslight the world about what the world just saw Trump do, and they get off on it.
They would be ashamed of it, and therefore they wouldn't tell the world about it. But here you have it just proudly displayed in public filings. It wasn't being kept secret from the world. And so it really does feel like one of those things that's very in your face because, the people in power know there is nothing we can do.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Bruce Almighty. Good recommendation, YouTube. That's why YouTube Premium goes hard. Free Bruce Almighty viewing. Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed this segment, y'all know what to do. Leave a like and a comment down below. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one, huh?